This 3-minute tutorial is all about lettering, and I've got 4 tips and 4 rocks to share with you today that will help you with your lettering on your rocks. So this first one, we're going to do the word loved, and as you can see, I started with the V, since it's 5 letters, in the center of my rock. This is going to help you with spacing. I wrote all my letters, just basic lettering, and now I'm going to come back and add loops to give it more of a hand lettered look. So starting with the L, moving to the O, V, E, and D. The downward strokes, when you're writing your cursive, like when you retrace over your letters, the downward strokes are the areas that you want to try to make thicker to give it this hand lettered look. Also, the simple addition of hearts or dots can take your rock up a notch. Now, same thing on the second rock. I am going to space it the same way, 5 letters for the word smile. However, I'm spacing my letters further apart so you can see how your spacing can completely change how your final rock looks. This rock was a little bit rougher, but just try to get your lining down on there first, and as you work on your downward strokes when you're doing your thickness, you can sometimes correct little bumps in your lining. Don't forget to go back and dot those I's. Now next, I'm going to talk a little bit about if you're using more than one word. You do not have to have all the words this beautiful script. I usually pick one to have the beautiful script, and as you can see, the other 2 words on this one are just very basic lettering. You can have different styles of lettering on the same rock. Now there are some letters that will give you a little bit of a different take. So the P, you technically are going to go up, down, back up, and then continue on. That will give you that downward stroke where it's thicker. And then I'm going to continue the rest of my letters here just like I did on the previous rock, connecting them like cursive. The downward strokes I'm making thicker. I do have practice sheets that I used a long time ago to kind of learn the style of letters and how to have them look when they're done. So if you need those, ask for sheets in the comments and I'll get you a link to the Etsy shop where I grabbed them. And then moving on to the final rock that we're going to show here, there are a few letters that you can't write basic lettering to start off, like the letter R. So for the R, we're going to do this little hitch just to get it laid out on the rock, and that way when we come back and attach our loops for our cursive, it will look like a cursive R. So whatever I'm doing a new word, I tend to go to a piece of paper and doodle it out a few times just so that I have an idea of what it should look like before I go to my rock. You can also go in with pencil first and get your letters laid down and go back over it. Make sure you have a nice pointed paint pen for lettering. I like to use the extra fine tip paint pens for lettering. You have a nice sharp tip so you can get those details without having too many problems. I hope this was helpful.